Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have the jazz bass build on the bench today. This is part 3. We did a mock-up recently. Today we're going to start doing some installations. I'm going to walk you through what we did so far, and we'll talk about where we're going soon. Hope you dig what I'm doing. Like and subscribe. So far you can tell we're going with the roasted maple Mexican neck on this brown burst body. Fender, vintage, the pickups. We have also gone to trouble today to solder the entire control panel. I did that off camera, as I usually always do, because, well, damn, it's a lot of work. I did take the time to paint it black and clear coat it, so it's going to look really sharp in there. Yahtzee, right? And I'll tell you why I do that, and I do it on all my own bases, because those damn things, they're never clean. They show boogers and fingerprints and smudges and sweat and spilled beer. This will never show that, ever. We're going to go down the list. Control panel, loaded, soldered together and bolted in. That's one. Vintage bridge, Mexico. We're going to install that today. I have all the screws, and that's going to go in right there. 96, well, yeah, their 50th anniversary J-Bass pickups. We're only going to put one in today because the body is actually routed out for that, and I know that we can't screw up the position on that one. This one's a little bit different. This one we're going to have to take a lot more care to put in properly to match up exactly so the pull pieces and it's aligned laterally correctly, string spacing, all that stuff. And the reason we can't put that in today is because we're still waiting on tuners. We'll get to that. Neck, yeah, you can see we're going with the roasted maple Mexican neck. It is clear coated on top, but not on the back. Tortoiseshell pick guard. Yep, we've gone over that. I don't know where that thing is hiding. Where is that thing? Huh. Where did it go? Tortoiseshell pick guard. You've seen that. We did that in the last video. The body, fender, yeah, and tuners, yeah, tuners. I sourced out some tuners. That was a fail. Sometimes Fender is very specific about their measurements. Body cavities, neck pockets, I will tell you from experience, they're very specific about those measurements and the way they're routed out in hard wood. They're very specific about this stuff too, where these holes are drilled and bored out. I'm not going to give you the measurements. It's 17.4 or 17.6 millimeters. I guess I did give you the measurements. That was an epic fail. And usually from that supplier, I don't have a problem. It's not that the tuners wouldn't work in the back. It was the bushing, the ferrule that has to go in that hole. And the ferrule has to be built just so that as it goes in there, it gets tight. That's what holds the whole assembly together. String tree, got that. We're going to put that on today. We're going to put the bridge on today, and we're going to mount that. And we're going to put in the ground wire. That's all the electronics we're going to show you today. the ground wire must be put underneath the bridge. So that's as good a place as any to start. So this is going to be a ground to the back of one of these pots in the control cavity. Just run that through there. There's a drill hole through into the routed control cavity. This wire, believe it or not, all it does, and this is the way it's been for a long time, 60 years. That little wire just sits right there, and the bridge actually bolts right down and squeezes it against the body. So you flatten that out. You bear off the end of it, you flatten it out. The other part is going to get soldered to the back of probably one of these pots, whichever one I can get to easily. Yeah, follow. So, bridge. We're actually screwing parts onto this body. Oh, well, you can see that I already set the neck, and I did put a plate and bolted the neck to the body. It would have probably been easier to do some of this stuff, but I like it to look like a guitar in the video. So, that is that. So this wire is not cooperating. Let's see if we can get it to lay flat on the body for me. No, it's not going to cooperate. So you do something just like that. It only has to just touch the bottom. You see? Right there. But you only want the wire to stick up. Not any of the shielding. You may have to pull some of the shielding off. You want it to stick right down in that little cavity, and you'll know when it falls in there, and it's not. I think we may have to bear a little bit more off. Let's do it. 60. There we go. I don't want any of the plastic, the black plastic coating to be underneath there. I only want the wires that are inside there kind of splayed out like that. I don't know if the camera's picking up on that. Just the wires splayed out. See if we can get it to cooperate, just like so. Yep. I did not drill these holes. Fender kindly measures and drills these holes, and not only that, they route out the cavities for you. Very specific screws to hold these bridges in. Don't use a power tool. You will regret it. And only use the screws that are designed to work with this bridge. And need I say it? Be careful not to damage. Your finish. No, wire is caught and grounded to the body. We're lifting slightly there, but I'm going to assume that once we get my string tree off of there, could be that the wire is just holding it up a little bit. It's kind of a wonky setup, but that's the way it has always been. That's the way Leo Fender designed it. Put the ground wire under there, attach that right to all your electronics, which transfer into your strings. That's your ground. I'm going to pause quickly while I put the other 4 strings in. You don't need to see that, and I can save a little bit of video time because we do have some other work to do here. We're not going to put the whole entire guitar together, but we're going to get the pickup set, and we're going to mock up and try to get this and the pickguard set just as a second mock-up, so stand by. So I made a mistake earlier. I said 6, there's only 5. There's never been 6 ever. Maybe in other type of guitars, but they are secure and tight to the body. Beautiful. Bridge installed, ground installed. These are the wires from this pickup. That's the next order of business. So the only cushion or spring in this type of system is a piece of foam rubber that goes down in the cavity, and that is what, as you adjust your pickup up and down, this compresses or releases. That's literally. Let's get over here in the video a little bit more. Yeah, sorry. I have marked where I'm going to put my screws for the pickup. We do have to pilot hole those, so I'm going to get I'm going to get the tiniest, because these are really small. The tiniest little drill bit, and I mean tiny. Yeah, perfect. Sorry about my head. I'm trying to eyeball where these are going to go. I'm going to try to get them in the center of these little horseshoe cutouts in the route. Oh, and by the way, these are very, very specific pickup screws to the Jazz Bass pickup. Don't just throw any kind of screw in there. It will not work. It will not work. And when I say it will not work, I mean it will not work. Spare screw. As these are very specific screws as well. They countersink into the bridge so that they're flush with this surface. Countersink. Don't put oversized, don't put undersized. Undersized, they'll pull out. Oversized, you could end up splitting the body. Just another tip from your Uncle Blackjack. These are a little bit down in there. I'm going to do one right here. Well, you can see without my head being in the way. Right there. Make sure you don't go through the other side. It's always fun to drill into a brand new guitar. Yeah, Yahtzee. Pretty sure we'll be alright with that. Come around here, you. Now, we're not soldering anything together. We've already done a fair amount of soldering today. By the way, look at my handiwork. Just look at that. That goes right there. Can't wait to put it in and get her fired up. Now, the tricky part here is getting those screws down into our pile of holes. They will usually find their own purchase. Now for, that one did not catch. Where are you? There you go. So for mock-up purposes, or we're actually past mock-up stage. Yeah, nice tight route. I like that. I'm just going to make them level. I may have to cut down I think my sponge went out this way, but we can fix that later. I'm just going to go level. And keep the tabs level with the body. That's usually about where you want to be. Yeah, I think my sponge is not going to cooperate down there. I don't think it's going to be forever. Yeah, I'm going to fix it right now. I don't like that. It does not feel right. You need to shave it down a little bit. This was the only design flaw that I ever thought. Because over time, that little styrofoam or foam rubber, whatever you want to call it, it just deteriorates. And that's your spring. Well, that explains a lot. There's no damn foam rubber in there. What did you do, Luch? Where did it go? I don't know. I don't know where it went. Stand by. I gotta find my foam rubber. Okay, like a moron. It was sitting right there. How many comments I'm gonna get from that? Let's try this again. Well, I'm only human. And I do stupid shit every once in a while. Sorry for my language. Again, we're trying to just get the tabs level with the body. That's going to give us a good starting point. It might be too high or too low, but we'll be able to adjust it. And yeah, this is how you do your pickup height. It just sits on that piece of styrofoam and it bounces up and down. I have a feeling it's probably way too low, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. I might have to put a thinner one in there. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see when we get there. That is the bridge saddle assembly. The bridge pickup is installed. We are going to, just for, again, to make sure all this honking electronic gear goes in there, put that in there. Because after that, I need the tuners to align string spacing to make sure that the neck and the body and the pickups and the bridge and saddle assembly are all lined up. We'll get to that. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, something real simple. Something really simple. Because I know I will forget this in the next video, is the string tree. I did not have it on my checklist, and sure enough, I saw a gaping hole in my headstock, and I go, well, you're going to need a string tree. And there it is. This is the kind that actually has the notches underneath. Not my favorite one, but it works great. We'll adjust it when we string it up. You want to leave it loose, just like a telly or a strap. That does not need to be tight. Where were we? Let's just see what this looks like in there. Yahtzee. Wires are going to have to be pushed down in. I'm pretty sure this is going to work just like Jake. All right, you ground wire, get out of the way. Oh, that's going to work just awesome. We got just enough movement. Everything is going to be beauty. We're going to get a different pickguard later on. That's the only problem. This pickguard was designed for a neck heel truss adjustment. But fit and finish, everything is there. I'm not going to, against my better judgment, or with my better judgment, I am not going to do that until I have the tuners in. And I'm going to do my mock-up with strings, just a couple of, cooking strings on the E and the G to get our next pickup set and make sure that we have our lateral movement for string spacing on our strings to go right between our pull pieces on both pickups. So it's critical that this one gets lined up. This one can only go where it can go in that pocket. That's how close that pocket was routed out. This one can move a little bit, so that's the one we got to really pay attention to. And once that's in there, you can see that the pickguard will move slightly. So we want to make sure that we get all that. Get a nice reveal over here and around this horn. That's where you're following to make sure that we get those drilled in there correctly so that this all looks nice and symmetrical. But you can see, starting to look like a real guitar. This was the fail. This stopped us from moving forward. Otherwise, I would move forward right now. We're going to call that a win. So far, you've seen quite a bit of work there for a short amount of time. It's Blackjack with 396 guitars. This guitar is going to a customer soon, so stay tuned. We're going to get it finished up shortly. If you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. We'll talk soon.